Hello, my name is Whitney Holmes, and today we're going to be discussing understanding disability categories and specific learning disabilities. Now, while it is important for all teachers to have at least a basic understanding of learning disabilities, it is essential for elementary teachers to understand learning disabilities, developmental milestones, and what the symptoms of learning disabilities are. Early interventions can give students the tools that they need to be successful academically, socially, and behaviorally. So the sooner that we can get them in there and get tested, the sooner we can get them accommodations and we can give them the support and tools that they need so that they can be successful. And the earlier that happens, the easier it's going to be for them to assimilate those tools into their daily lives. Now, when planning for instruction, it is important to teach subject matter in several ways, so the concept can be learned by as many students as possible, whether they have a disability or not. Now, most topics are introduced by a short video to introduce the topic. And then there's a class discussion with guided notes. Of course, some students may need to have those guided notes pre-filled, and they should be following along with those notes and highlighting key terms. Now, after that, then there should be a classroom activity, hands-on, and in most cases, that should be a group activity so students can help each other and they can discuss that topic as well. This also helps with social skills when you have a group project or a group work happening. Then also, when possible, students should be reading about the content that you're teaching as well. So if you have a student, if your class is learning about space exploration and science, then the collaboration with the reading teacher, they should be also reading a book as a class about space exploration. Now, understanding how a student's disability affects life outside the classroom is essential to creating an inclusive classroom. Students with certain disabilities may be affected by their disabilities more outside the classroom than others. For example, children with autism are often isolated once they leave school. So they don't have opportunities to socialize and build social skills outside of school. So having those opportunities for students to collaborate on group projects helps with building those social skills and learning how to cooperate with others. Likewise, understanding that students with dyslexia, you don't want to call on those students unless they volunteer, because it's embarrassing to be called out for your lack of ability to read. Almost every student in the videos that we were watching this week expressed concern over their peers making fun of them because they couldn't read, they couldn't write, or they didn't understand the concepts. They were afraid of being bullied. Now, before any teacher can teach, they must first learn and explore themselves. Regular reflection helps teachers to identify areas where they can improve. It can also help the teacher to develop their teaching style. After all, what works for one teacher may not work for another. This all comes down to the teacher's personality and the class dynamics. Each teacher is a leader. However, some teachers are called to lead a team or are called into an administrative role. Teachers who are leaders look for opportunities to build relationships with all stakeholders, including parents, students, and staff. They also look for opportunities to improve the tapestry of the school environment. Above all, teachers and administrators are servants. Just as Jesus was a leader, he was also a servant. In order to lead, teachers must first serve. To better serve parents of students with a fresh diagnosis, teachers should have a list of resources and support groups. When initially receiving a diagnosis, the amount of information on the internet is both abundant and overwhelming. Having access to these resources can narrow down the information available and connect them with others who have gone through the same thing. The information that's available online is also often misleading or completely false. So, it is essential that we give those resources to parents.